is football. Football is
America's
America.
football is America. If you don't like it, you can kiss your candy ass. All the moment in time. I don't give a damn. Oh my God.
No.
You loved it.
It's 30 to 27. Chiefs win. Chiefs win 30 to 20.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Only Football. What a game this has been. We just saw a fumble, an interception, the returning team fumble, the intercepting team pick up that fumble, and then the Chargers get it back again. Fumble, interception, fumble, Chargers ball. So I guess good for the Chargers. We got Little E in the chat. What's up, Little E? Thanks so much for your bid earlier. Always, brother. Always. Anytime. I got I used the money I made yesterday, and I put a bet in that had I think it was like $50, which I typically don't put on one thing, but I like the odds. It was $50 for Jalen Hurts and Justin Herbert to each have 10 passing yards in each quarter. So far, so good. And I'm trying to keep track of it. It's kind of hard, but I'm pretty sure we've already achieved that in the second quarter. You are truly the man. Appreciate that. Oh, I hope it hits. Thank you. Let me see, because what I can do is let me look up Chargers, Eagles, and I can get the play-by-play. Here we go. Big third down, 3rd and 2. Herbert rolling out, looking, firing. Oh my gosh. Trey Harris caught it. First down. Wow. That is what I'm talking about. Like Justin Herbert, when we played the Chargers on that final drive where they needed a score, he made play after play after play. And they are like that, where it's like, how does he make those plays? Man. I don't know how he did that. All plays. Here we go. First down, new set of downs. And Vidal carrying the load on this play. So second quarter, we had -1 yard run, a 6-yard pass from the Eagles, and then an interception. So we need 4. Okay, and then on this last drive, we had 22-yard pass. So we're good on the Eagles. We got 10 yards from them, and then on the last drive for the Chargers, there was no completions, but we just had an 18-yard pass, and that'll do. We got it. 10 passing yards, 4 each, and then we had on the opening drive, the Eagles had more than 10 yards passing. And then on the Chargers opening drive, there was a 60-yard pass to Vidal. So we're cooking. And I bet they're offering me a cash out right about now. And I'm not taking it. How's the new baby? The new baby is amazing, man. I mean, it is just such. I understand now when people are like, "It's just such a blessing." Like, it's like really the only way to say it. I mean, it's amazing. I have much respect for Herbert after playing with an injured hand. Yeah. I mean, I feel like the quarterback position, man, you got to be tough. We got Ninja in the chat. Ninja in the chat. What's up, brothers? Plural. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Man, today was crazy. I went to a bunch of different establishments trying to get a job, and looks like I'm gonna get one at the Grand Hyatt in downtown Nashville. So pretty excited about that. It's funny. I was telling my buddy who works at the Grand Hyatt, who was trying to help me out. I was like, it's funny how being a man is trying really hard to get jobs you don't want. Like, it's so depressing. But hopefully one day we are going to be able. I feel like if somebody just said, like, if I won the lottery, I could just sit here and make content all day. I thought of something today. I made a YouTube short about it, and I was like, what if Monday through Friday I had a show, and for 1 hour I had my phone right here, and I had a prompt question like, which team, for Bronco fans, like, which team do you not want to play more than any other team in the playoffs? All right, we got Jim calling from New England. He's a big Broncos fan, but he's surrounded by Patriots. Hey, like, Bronco fans from all around the world answer these questions. We got Jonathan from Jacksonville. Jonathan, who do you not want to play? And, I have people would sign up for this because, like, it's their, not that I'm famous, but some people don't really care about fame. They just think it's cool to be on TV. And they consider a YouTube video like being on TV. And then the shy people, well, they don't have to worry about seeing their face because I'm just doing it on a phone call. And I'm basically want to create a radio show for 1 hour a day. And I think it would be a huge hit. There's nothing like it on YouTube. Just fans only. It's ran by fans. It's for fans. No professionals. No watching Pat McAfee all day, hoping that they mention the Broncos. We're going to do it every day, and it's for a full hour. And I made a YouTube short putting this idea out there, and I'm just hoping some people are interested because I know for a fact there's thousands of people that would do this. The question is, like, how can I reach them? I hope I do with my YouTube short. I'm so happy for you, bro. Did Rick ever tell you about that money from the? He did, and I never got a chance to thank everybody because I got the money and it was like we went into labor. But absolutely, thank you, everybody who donated and contributed. Or whoever got the job. I just watched that video. That would be a sweet gig, dude. 107.5 The Fan, my local radio show, is like my dream job now. That would be sick. That would be sick, bro. I love it. Love the idea. I'm down. That's what I was hoping. PH, I'm at your channel. You're on the channel now. Are you seeing the YouTube short? Oh, for sure. Oh shit. I'm at your channel. Oh, gotcha. You're on my channel. Yeah, because now I broadcast to both at the same time. Dude, Monsters Inc. Sully is in the broadcast booth with Troy Aikman. I made sure to contribute a lot because you're the broski for a reason. Lily, man, I seriously thank you so much. Thank you. I can't thank you enough. You have no idea. Thank you. There he is. The big guy. All right. So $50. They're offering me $60 on a $50 bet. Jalen Hurts and Justin Herbert to each record 10 passing yards in each quarter. It's already happened. So it's just down to the third and fourth quarter. The fourth quarter is always money, right? People are trying to come back. it's the third quarter. It's the first quarter that is the riskiest. If you can get through the first quarter, then the second sketchiest one is the third quarter because you're coming out of halftime. Sometimes offense lags. But the second and the fourth, I got no worries. And the way this game's going, I'm not worried. $20 passing yards in each quarter. That's going to be something I'm interested in. The way these teams are able to throw it. Another interception. I just put $10 on them to have 20 passing yards. Look at 30 passing yards in each quarter is at plus 4. I'm going to put 15 on it to win 64. We got 4 minutes and 38 seconds. Okay. What was that? 30 passing yards in each quarter. So in the second quarter so far, we got let's see, second quarter. You're Justin Herbert. Come on. Sling it. Oh my gosh, fumble. Eagles ball. What the hell is going on in this game? Okay, so we got 6-yard pass from the Eagles. We got incompletion, penalty. Okay, 16-yard pass, 19. 3-yard pass, 22. 22-yard pass, 40. Okay, so the Eagles did it. The Eagles did it. 18-yard pass for the Chargers. And that's it. 18-yard pass for... So I just need 12 more passing yards for the Chargers. Justin Herbert will forever look like a senior in high school. No problem, brother. I'm happy and excited for y'all. I know Brother Bill and I would have gone tit for tat that night to see what he could send missing, but always with us. Absolutely. Man, absolutely. Can we get a dog shit in the chat for these two teams? Absolute dog shit. It's actually been really fun though. Like, it's funny how that. Come on, somebody hit him, mother. These teams, man, they just don't look. They don't look battle ready. I need some freaking water. I came straight back from my interview into the stream. And I feel like there hasn't been a commercial in like 15 minutes, which I'm usually okay with. I just want to get some water. Barkley, first down. Come on, right here. Right here. Saquon Barkley having some words with Still. Derwin James getting escorted off the field by the Chargers training staff. The best safety in the NFL, changed my mind, is being escorted off the field. And if I'm the Eagles, A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith, this is a house call. This is a house call for me. By the way, somebody dropped Omari and Hampton in my league 6 weeks ago, and I picked him up and put him on IR. I activated him for this game. He's already got a touchdown. He's got 11 points. He projected 20. I have 160 points currently this week, and I have CMC on a bye week. Barkley's just running through this Chargers defense. Come on. It's all right. The Chargers are going to call their timeouts. We got the 2-minute warning. The Chargers are going to get the ball back, and they're going to be trying to get some points. They're just going to keep running it. They're running their 5-minute offense. I don't know why it's not obvious. Finally, only a 3-yard gain. It's like the Eagles are in their 5-minute offense. They want to drain all the clock, score a touchdown, and go into halftime 10-10. That's right, brother Kyle. Go get some water, and I'll be here when you get back, bro. All right. I'm gonna wait 30 seconds for the 2-minute warning. That's what I'll do. That's the other thing. I never want to leave the stream because I'm like, what if I come back and everyone's gone? They're like, there's nobody here. 2nd and 7 for Jalen Hurts, who, weirdly enough, for only having 3 points, it looks like they've been able to move the ball, and there's A.J. Brown inside the red zone, and that will take us to the 2-minute warning. I will be right back. Be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. Be right back. Yes, you do. Bro, that's lit. Go for it. Promise you won't. We won't leave you. Me and brother Jay will hold it on. Oh my gosh! Holy crap! They're on the 1 yard line. Come here. Woody, they're saying your name. Woody, Mr. Woody. Hmm. I need a Barkley touchdown here. I need a Barkley touchdown. I have another one in Barkley, Amari Hampton, Chargers to cover. Yes, Barkley. Nope. Dang. It's right there. What is it? Whoa. Whoa, I made that a little too big. There we go. Yeah. Whoa. I'm going to move that. Barkley in motion. Flag is down. Holding. Oh my gosh. Holding on the offense. Holding on the offense. So the touchdown's not going to count. A.J. Brown was the scorer. Barkley on any time. Eagles plus 3.5. McConkey 30 yards receiving. Herbert 20 yards rushing. 5 to win 111. I love it. I got okay, here's the big one, I guess. Amari Hampton touchdown, Saquon Barkley touchdown, Chargers plus 1.5. Now it's 2nd and goal, so this might be a draw. Thought about it. Hurts throwing. Hurts, what are you doing? Like, throw a catchable ball. Oh, Derwin James is coming back on the field. What's going on? I'm like the biggest Jalen Hurts supporter. But what's his deal? Jim Harbaugh just had to call timeout. Why? The clock was stopped. Scared money don't make money. I love it. Rooting for both of you. I have this bet in Carolina Panthers to make the playoffs, the Chiefs to make the playoffs, Tampa Bay to miss the playoffs, Cincinnati to make the playoffs. $2. Um, let's see. Let's see what happens here on third down. Because I need 12 more passing yards from Justin Herbert. Oddly enough, the ball's on the 12-yard line for the Eagles. Oh my gosh. That was an incomplete pass. And then there was an Eagle that picked up the ball as if it was a fumble, and then he progressed the fumble, which you can't do that either. Yeah, you can't advance a fumble. Ooh. I don't know if that arm was moving forward. I don't know the feeling of the game or any of that. Betting the Eagles could have been horrible. LOL. Should have thrown Colts to miss as well in that one. That was prior to Daniel Jones's injury, but I was actually I was a believer in the Colts. The Daniel Jones injury, yeah, I would have thrown him in if I made it today, but I made it like 5 days ago, and I was like, and plus I was trying to use the teams that were like unlikely. Like if you look at the ones I picked, it's like Tampa Bay is like predicted to be in the playoffs. I took them to miss. The Chiefs, I don't think people are fully aware. Now, I don't think they can win out. We had this conversation yesterday. I don't think they can win out, but people on the internet, they seem like, I don't know, like they don't realize how, I'm not saying how easy it is, but they're making it seem like the Chiefs have a 0% chance. And it's just not the case. I mean, if the Chiefs win out, they give themselves a pretty good chance of making the playoffs. And that's just the truth. There was a Chargers fan talking shit on the internet today. He said he posted a picture of the AFC playoff like standings, and he says, "Man, we could destroy all of these teams except for the Jaguars." Now, of course, he's saying except for the Jaguars because they just got absolutely crushed by the Jaguars, so he has to say that. But I replied on it, and I was like, you should just be focused on the Eagles, little bro. You're 0-2 against the NFC East, and you haven't played the Eagles or Cowboys yet. And I posted it with a picture of. Let me just show you. It's funny. It's funny enough to share. I also wrote Garrett Bowles, our left tackle, a letter. All right, here we go. This is going to be returned. The 10, the 20, the 25, the 31. Okay. Here it is. I said, hold on, let me see if I can. Where is it? Here it is. Chargers. This is what he said. Chargers would destroy. Hold on, I got to see this real quick. Herbert, come on, 12 yards, 12 yards. Damn it, incomplete. Chargers would destroy everyone in this graphic except Jaguars. Facts. Here I am. I would be just focused on the Eagles, little bro, considering you're 0-2 versus the NFC East. And that's without playing the Cowboys or Eagles yet. And then Broncos versus NFC East this season. Literally beat every single one of those teams. It was just like the perfect division rival banter that the internet was created for. Here we go. Come on, 12 yards, 12 yards. Throwing it. There we go. There we go. What was that? 6 yards? Give me 6 more. Give me 6 more. Give me 6 more. Come on. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. What the hell are you doing, you bum? There's a flag down. I don't think you guys deserve to see me. I'm terrible. Whatever. We're still gonna win the big one. I feel like under my nail has a nail growing into my skin. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, I can feel it. Just barely there. Just enough to be annoying. They're already in field goal range. This is the first game with 6 turnovers in the first half. And you know what? I'm loving it. Call this game McDonald's because I'm loving it. You know, there's people out there that would say a game like this is hard to watch. Not for me. I don't know what that says about me, but I enjoy the chaos. We saw one play where Jalen Hurts threw an interception. The Chargers players returning it. Jalen Hurts tackled him, fumbled the ball. Jalen Hurts, who threw the pick, picked it back up. Then he got tackled and fumbled the ball. And then the Chargers picked it back up. I don't even know. Does that count as one turnover? Because if they count all 3 of those, then technically there's been 9 turnovers in the first half, not 6. See, that's the question. If I was in the booth, I would be asking Gene. If there's multiple change of possessions in the same play, do they count as turnovers? I'm assuming they don't because the number 6 that they gave us. Jalen Hurts, 2 interceptions. Jake Elliott, he's made a 41 and a 30-yard. Obviously, weather never a factor in SoFi. Snap, hold, kick looks like no good. No good. Of course it's no good. That's the way this game is. LOL Chargers. The big one is all that matters. That's what she said. Oh my God, brother. Bad news, Bears. multiple turnovers by the same team on one play is something I never thought about for sure. You guys know I say this every week. I'm like, every week there's a new question that comes that I'm like, I don't know the answer to that. It's funny. That's what's funny about football. Like, how could you watch for 20 years, 25 years, and still not know everything? It's such a complex game. I mean, football really is its own world. It's got its own ecosystem. It has its own lawyers. It has its own Hall of Fame. It's like the Truman Show. It's got its own facility where you work out. It's got its own press. I mean, it's like, I want to live in that world. I don't know if I would be a coach, a training staff, a fucking ball boy. I don't care. I want to get in the world. And this is what I was saying the other day. I was trying to make this point, because it's a shame that more regular people can't get inside the club. I mean, that's what it is at the end of the day. Like, it's a club. It's a club. And see replies. Where are my notifications, though? There they are. All right. Here we go. We got Nick in the chat. Eagles miss. Absolutely did miss, which means I got to update the ticker. Happy halftime to Captain Hypothetical. Who's that? What up, Nick? Okay. This is what I found out the other day. Somebody was somebody posted, sports gamblers are demanding that the NFL investigate the Raiders and the refs because, like I said, I've never seen this before, but they kicked a game losing. I don't want to show this in case the internet gets confused, but they kicked a game losing field goal. Who does that? Who does that? Anyway, I put, too bad you guys didn't pick the good spreads to gamble on. Steelers, Seahawks, Bengals, Jags, Titans. Boom! Shakalaka. And that's not what I came to show you, though. What I came to show you was this. NFL Water Boys earn over $3,000 per game. $3,000 per game. Gosh, this drives me crazy. You guys have no idea how much I would love this. It averages out more than $50,000 per season, not including tips. They also attend practices, handle locker room prep. Here's the kicker. They take half the year off if you're a Bears water boy. If you're, a playoff team. I'm just kidding. But seriously, think of that. Think about making 50 grand a year. You get to travel with the team. You get to have, access to their facilities with the hyperbolic chambers and the hot tub and the cold plunges and the work. I'd be in the best shape of my life, right? I would be there for my guys. You know what I mean? Give them a little bit of water, maybe just a sentence. You don't want to say too much, right? You're not going to go into our deepest fears, not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fears that we're powerful beyond nature. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us the most. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about hey, you've made it this far. Shh, go get him. Just something like I feel like I could be great at this job. I'm very motivational. My family hates it. I always have some kind of motivational thing. That's why I was into preaching when I was younger, because I just like speaking life into people. That's what a water boy's job is. It's not just to hydrate their body, their physiology, but it's also to hydrate their psychology. I want to relax their mind and their heart rate. And I don't know. I think that the fact that there's jobs that exist like that in the world that I live in, somebody that became a naval air crewman, right? The most difficult thing I've ever done, and I made it all the way to the end. It's like I remember when I got done with that, I was like, that's it. Like I've learned something. There's nothing that I can't do if I put my mind to it. And that's a cliche thing that people say, but it's so much more than that, because in this job, I felt like there was 3 out of my 6 years, I just thought, I'm not going to make it. I'm not smart enough. I have a GED. I don't understand what they're saying. I can't understand, how these electrical flow charts, and it's just above me. I'm just not that guy. It's okay. I'm good at other things. That's just not me, right? I put myself in a box. But here's the thing. I didn't want to quit, because then I would have to tell my whole family I failed. And man, I hated the idea of doing that more than I hated showing up and not understanding anything. So I kept showing up. And one day, a tiny light bulb went off. Now, I didn't understand the whole thing. It's not that. It's too complex. It's just one little light bulb. And maybe I understood one part of a bigger thing. But then a month later, another one goes off, and now I'm making a connection between the two. The next thing you know, years later, I'm teaching other people, how, a pulse rate intervention, a pulse rate repetition, pulse rate frequency, a pulse width, what is a pulse, what's it measured in. I can go through, like, this is so nerdy, and I'm like, how did I do this? Like, how did I become this person? I just kept showing up, and I decided that I'm not going to quit no matter what. And when I made it all the way to the end and I got my gold wings, I thought, man, if this was any other job besides the military, I would have quit 100%. I would have said, I can't do it, I quit. But because that wasn't an option, I just said, that's not an option. I'm not even going to entertain that. All you got to do is ring the little bell. I don't want to do this anymore. No punishment. You don't get in trouble. It's a special program, right? SEALs, aircrew, EOD, any of these jobs that are in the special department, you are volunteering for. So at any point, if it becomes overbearing or too much, they want you to quit, because they don't want the wrong people in these jobs that can get people killed. They want you to say, this is above me. I'm too stressed out. I quit. They're like, awesome. Thanks for letting us know now, and not on a mission where you got people killed. So it's encouraged to quit, and I had to just make that decision that I'm not going to like entertain that little voice in my head. And the fact that I was able to get all the way to the end and get my wings, I thought, man, what else have I told myself is above me that I could do if I just didn't label myself as a failure or not smart enough? Like, and now I'm out of the Navy, and it's like I'm applying to be a janitor and stuff, which nothing against janitors, it's just, man, it's like, I feel like I could do so much more, but I don't have a college degree, and my job doesn't translate to the civilian world at all. So it's like feel like I'm starting over. But I see jobs like this, and I'm like, why can't I do that? Like, what is it? Like, I need like a list of reasons why I can't be a water boy, right? Like, I don't understand. Like, why would I just be okay with living in a world where jobs like that exist that would make me happy that I don't go for? But the question is, like, how do you go for it? I went on the NFL's website, I checked their careers, they don't post these jobs, and that's what is frustrating, and that's why I said, yet these jobs are never available, and they're always given to family members. And it's just like becoming a referee, you know? It's like this secret society, you know what I mean? It's unbelievable, and, you know, I think and it's like it's frustrating for me because I'm the kinda guy that's like, I will drive across country and go knock on the door as long as I know I'm knocking on the right door, and with this job, the frustrating part is, like, I don't even know how to be proactive about it because I don't know where the door is, right? How do you knock on the door of a secret society? Ooh, somebody write that down. How do you knock on the door of a secret society? I'm gonna write a song with that. How do you knock on the door of a secret society? I've been looking for myself and I can't even find me a better place, another job. I think it's time I be moving on. Ginger believes it was to cover the spread, that field goal, by the way, which I don't know what it was. Maybe he's just getting old, you know, doesn't even know he's in. My thoughts exactly, Ginger. My thoughts exactly. People make careers. We got Crafty in the chat. Crafty, I need to know, how the hell are you? Everybody give it up for Crafty. So good to have you in here, Crafty. People make careers out of being dope heads, getting clean, and then helping other dope heads. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, that's the way to do it. You know what I mean? Like, if I wanted help, I wouldn't want somebody that's like, "You're giving me a lot of great advice, but have you ever been addicted to drugs?" No, I haven't. Okay, I don't wanna hear from you. Sorry. I know that might be insensitive, but if you've never gone through the specific struggles, right? These unique challenges, if you've never faced them, you can't speak to them because you think you know what it's like. Oh, I can be empathetic and put myself in their shoes. Nope. Nope. That'll only take you so far, but not far enough to really help the people that need the help. That's just the way it is. Some things you can be empathetic and not have, like, I don't have to be homeless to help homeless people. But if I wanted to talk to somebody about, like, how to go from being homeless to getting back on my feet, like, I would imagine a homeless person wouldn't wanna talk to somebody that's never been homeless, you know? Like, "Oh, no, you can overcome," if I'm trying to get off substances, I would want practical information that somebody that's never been addicted to drugs couldn't give me. I think the number one question would be like, okay, how do I overcome the withdrawal symptoms if I can't afford, to go on a $10,000 retreat and I don't have insurance because I'm only using drugs to keep myself from withdrawing. I'm basically managing my withdrawal symptoms. I'm not even addicted to drugs for what I was doing it for 10 years ago. Now I'm just treating, what are withdrawal symptoms? Well, nausea, lightness, skin crawling, the worst flu you've ever had, nostril closing, gastrointestinal issues, bowel movement issues, cold shakes, sweats. Like, okay, so how do you stop them? You just use the drugs that got you, hooked on drugs. And then what happens when you take the drugs? That all stops immediately. So, yeah, I would like to see anybody that's being held right above the flame, and all they gotta do is take a drug and the flame goes out. You know what I mean? And then, like, that's the practical information these people on the streets need to know is, like, how yes, I want to. I have the desire to get clean, but I just don't know how to do it because there's this part of it that makes it really difficult, right? In certain drugs, you will die if you just like crack and alcohol. If you're really bad on and you just stop, you'll die. You can die from the withdrawal symptoms. So, like, if somebody's never gone down that road and they're just like, no, I've never done that, but like the Lord's called me to, not saying like anything wrong with that, but it's just like, all right, well, let me talk to the people the Lord called that used to be addicted. I need Omari and Hampton to go further. Nash, what did I just come into? What the? Sorry, you guys know halftime is like a free for all. I mean, there's no rules at halftime. Everybody, give it up for the one, the only Nash. We got Nash, we got Crafty, we got Ginger, we got Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Happy to have you guys in here. All right, bounce it outside. 2nd and 10 is going to turn into a 3rd and 5. Once again, I need a couple things. The first thing that I need I need Jalen Hurts and Justin Herbert to each have 20 passing yards in each quarter. If they have 10 passing yards in each quarter, I placed this in the beginning of the game. I did one for 10, one for 20, and one for 30. Unfortunately, I don't think the 30 one's going to go through, but I put $50 that Jalen Hurts and Justin Herbert would each have 10 passing yards in each quarter. The first quarter and the second quarter, check. We are down to the 3rd and the 4th. $50 to win 93 for 10 passing yards. And you're like, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. Look at this boy at fullback. 44, Matlock. This is bunch formation. Let's see if they throw it here. Take a shot downfield in bunch formation. Nope, they're going to run it. Vidal is going to pick up 1 yard. And then Jordan Davis is going to be there to catch him. Big boy discussions, Nash. Big boy discussions. I'm not mad about it. I'm just saying, like, they can fuck up to the NTH degree and then get a cushy job making crazy money just telling people how much they fucked up. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying, Ginger. Trust me. I remember my ex-wife, her dad was like an ex-addict, and I didn't like being around him because he made everything about him, and this is a very common thing with addicts. And if you guys have addicts in your family, you know this. I'm not telling you anything new, but I used to go to these AA meetings to be supportive. And one of the things I noticed is that they almost like romanticize alcohol at these meetings. They're like, man, today I just really wanted a beer. I just was closing my eyes and envisioning like reaching my hand into the bottom of the ice and just pulling out that frothy cold beer. And I'm sitting there at this meeting like, holy crap, this is what you guys do? I've never wanted a beer more in my life than here at this meeting. This is insane. No wonder you guys keep relapsing. You guys meet every day and do this? That's insane. And it's like, oh, we're going to keep collecting chips. If you really want to get sober, you should just be like, I don't count the days because I'm not a drinker anymore. That's what I always tell people is like, if you're going to quit drinking, don't be like, I'm 17 days with that, because that makes it sound like you're counting until you relapse. Like if I told you you're never going to drink for the rest of your life, you wouldn't count. That's very like morbid. I'm going to count the days until I die from today. So you would only do that if you were planning on relapsing. So I would always tell people, my opinion, just my 2 cents. If you really want to quit drinking, then instead of telling people I'm 13 days, just tell them I don't drink anymore. When did you quit? Can't remember, like months ago. I don't know. 2, 3. Just like, who cares? It's not that important. When you think about it that much, it's almost like you put it on a pedestal and you make it a god, and you're just like, don't crush me today. And that's what I don't like about these AA meetings is like the first thing you do when you go in there is you stand up and you say, my name is this and I'm an addict. Well, I think you're more than that, Tom. I think of all the things that you are, I think you just said the least important one. Like, and if you are, if you're not a Christian, whatever, if you are one, then like that's not your identity. Your identity is like, you know what I mean? You're created in God's image. You're not a drug addict. Like, my name is Paul, and I'm an addict. It's like, oh my God, what else are you? Do we have to start there? And yeah, I just feel like the whole thing is just set up in a way for people to like stumble again. And every time I got around my wife's father, ex-wife, thank God, her father, everything circled back to him and his, addictions, no matter what we were talking about. And it just got exhausting. And I was like, man, I want to be supportive, but I can't be around this all day. When you're clean is when you can drink a beer and not have to have more and more and more. Yeah. And I think that too, sometimes it's just like a young man thing that you grow out of. I don't think just because, you were one way when you were 19 that you're like that for life, which is another like major disagreement AA would have with me. They would disagree with what I just said. They would say once an addict, always an addict. Nothing you can do about it. It's a disease. Here's a throw to, and also it's like, really, you're not even going, like, because if I walked in and said like, oh, I drank until I black out, they would say you're an addict, once an addict, always an addict. And I'd be like, you don't need any more context. Like, what if I just went through a really bad breakup and I've never done that before, but I decided to do it because I was depressed and I feel dumb. It was stupid. Like, no, they don't ask for any of that context. They're just like, all I need to know is that you blacked out one time and I know you're an addict and you always will be. And like, I just can't vibe with that. But it helps so many people, so I'm not against it. You know what I mean? It's just like not for me. I've been sober for 4 to 5 years. I didn't know that, Lily. This is kind of cool. I feel like we're having like an actual like meaningful, not that we normally don't, but I like that we can have like these good conversations. Missed field goal, Chargers. But there is a flag. There is a flag. This is going to be against the Eagles, who haven't even had the ball yet. We are literally on the exact same page on this subject. Just remember, Lil, it's a young man saying that then trauma and other lives make it deeper. Absolutely. Well, he said alcohol was almost the death of me because I had a problem because was drinking to forget terrible times I wanted to forget and was on the heart monitor when flatlined for 5 seconds and they called code blue. Damn. Well, I didn't know that, Lily. I'm so glad that you made it through that. I heard him screaming down there. Oh, I had to shut the door. I was like, geez. Love you. I just need the Eagles to not have a 3-and-out when they get the ball back. What a dumb play call. Oh, they got a bloody sock on Vital. Love it. Didn't know that, man. But haven't drank any alcohol in 4 to 5 years. Yeah, I kept that a secret. Yeah, man. And also, like, I think I I I think if you I think like if you struggled with it when you were young, like doesn't mean you're always gonna struggle with it. But at the same time, I also think that if you struggled with it when you were young, I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze to pick it back up to see, you know what I mean? Like, oh well, look, maybe I can handle it this time. Like sometimes, depending on what happened, like you freaking died. You know what I mean? Like, no, like I don't need to find out. I don't care that much. You know what I mean? Um, because honestly, like, I drink alcohol, but I stopped drinking, and it was because I was associating everything with it. It's like we're going mini golfing. Oh, alcohol, concert, alcohol, football, alcohol, celebration, alcohol, angry, alcohol, and and it was like when I was like I'm gonna quit drinking for a while. It wasn't until I did that that I realized, oh my god, my brain like connects all of these things with alcohol. Like Saturday morning, we're going to brunch, alcohol. Brunch means alcohol. Dinner means alcohol. Cocktails and fancy dinner. That's alcohol. We're going like literally everything. Our country is all about alcohol. We commercialize it. We put it on billboards. We sell it everywhere. It's it's actually kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Because it's like the one of the worst ones of all of them. Now, I still drink beers, um, but I'm not naive to like the world we live in. And anybody that makes the decision that like I don't want to drink because I end up like alcohol slowly starts to invade. Like for some people, it can feel like I'm gonna just kinda, like, open the door a little bit to alcohol, just have, like, a couple beers, and then it slowly starts to, like, become more and more prevalent in your life until you're back to associating everything with alcohol, and it's like, "Oh, man, I shoulda just" you know, "I shoulda just not picked it back up when I was" because it's so hard to quit something. So when you do it, sometimes it's like, I wanna see if I can handle it, but it's not worth having to quit again in case I can't, if that makes sense. Because it was like when I got out of boot camp, I hadn't had a cigarette in 8 weeks, and I was, like, severely addicted to nicotine, right? And I'm not saying the vape thing is worse, but this isn't about that. This is just when I got out of boot camp, half of my guys went to the gas station and bought a pack of cigarettes, and I did too. And, I'm, like, right about to light it up, and I thought to myself, "What are you doing?" Like, you're not you don't have shakes, like, you're clean from cigarettes. Like, if you smoke this cigarette, you may do this for the rest of your life, and you've made it through the quit stage, like, you're good, you're not even craving it. You just want to have this habit? It's like, of course not. But, I smoked since I was 16, and I just am I just identified as a smoker. So it was like, of course, when I get out of boot camp, I'm gonna smoke 'cause I'm a smoker, and smokers smoke, you know? And, standing there holding a cigarette, right about to light it, I thought all of that in a matter of 10 seconds, and I decided to just change my identity. And, and then I hit somebody's vape, like, 5 years later, and, I loved it, and I still do, but I wouldn't wanna smoke again. Even if they came out and said tomorrow, like, "Vaping's worse than cigarettes," I would still not wanna smoke cigarettes, you know? I think vaping tastes good. It's so, like I can do it in Walmart, I can put it in my pocket, I can do it anywhere, even places where it's, like, very professional. I can go to the bathroom in the stall, rip it a couple times, get lightheaded, go back out there. Can't do that with cigarettes. Brothers for life, 29. Lily is 2 years younger than me, and my older brother's 2 years older than me. We will never use this against you in a time of weakness or when we are mad at you or think something. Absolutely. Being comfortable enough to voice your past troubles or transgressions is awesome, man. Not everyone is like this, though, so don't trust everyone like you do with us. Absolutely. Great advice. Great advice. You know, I love that we're all close enough to have these conversations. To be fair, I'd rather just smoke the ganja. I've watched the potheads be way more cooler than those who get pissed drunk off alcohol. Love the green, to be fair. Yeah, that's what's crazy. That's what I was thinking when I was like, it's on billboards, it's on everything. It's just crazy to think like that the same people that put the billboards, the commercials, and pump millions, hundreds of millions of dollars to making sure that you want to drink are the same people that make sure that you go to jail for smoking. It's hypocritical and stupid. Yes, Jalen Hurts just did it. Also, that website I recommend, Jalen Hurts just threw it for like 20 yards. So, also that website I recommend will have week 15 came out on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Oh, it will come out. Okay, so 7 p.m. Eastern time. That is there's going to be a whole live stream dedicated to that website thanks to Nash. Once again, give it up to Nash. Jalen Hurts stepping up, trying to get rid of it and throws it. It's funny, Jalen Hurts is like, his pocket mobility is like okay, but it's really kind of awkward. You know, for a guy that looks as athletic and ripped as him, he doesn't move as well as Bo Nix does in the pocket. It's like he steps back. Let me show you. Ready? He steps back and then he comes up into the pocket and then he goes like this, like he's preparing to get sacked, and then he realizes, hey, nobody's here to sack me, and then he keeps the play alive instead of just being you know what I mean? There's this there's a little bit of Jalen Hurts waiting to see what is going to happen in the play instead of making a play. You know, oh, am I going to survive this? Versus great pocket quarterbacks are it's like they don't even realize they got sacked until they're on the ground. It's like, oh, I didn't survive that because I'm on the ground. They're not thinking about that in the game. They're just making plays. I guess I could sum this all up by he's thinking too much within his pocket movement. He's in his head. He doesn't look comfortable. There. 53-yard try by Elliott. So let's see. We got in the third quarter, we had 7-yard pass, 2-yard run, 3-yard run, 8-yard pass. So we did it. We did the third quarter. All we need is 10 yards passing by both quarterbacks in the fourth quarter, and $50 won me $45. How do you not love a bet like that? It's like, hey, whatever you're willing to risk, you will win. It's like, ooh. And then I was like, yeah, I really do think this is going to happen. And I just won the $300, put 50 on it. I'm glad I did because we're one quarter away from really good things. Good things. Bam. It is 9-2. Get the hell out of here. Los Angeles, California. Here we go. So I wonder if you guys have ever wondered like how I do my ticker, right? Because if you've noticed, my ticker is exactly the same as Monday Night Football's. So I have it up on YouTube TV, but if you try to screenshot YouTube TV, it just shows up as a black square because it's like copyright, I guess, or something. You can't record it. Like screen record doesn't work on YouTube TV. So, but if you you know what I'm saying? If you watch the game like that, like if you were a pirate watching the game and you're on those special websites, because that's where pirates watch, well, then you can take a screenshot. So what I'll do is I'll like open it up on a second thing. I watch on YouTube TV because it's in real time, but in the other tab I have it's like where all the pirates watch the game. And once I see on YouTube TV like, hey, somebody scored, I go over, to where all the pirates are, and then I screenshot. Since it's like a minute behind, I just wait. I'm like, okay, usually I gotta wait like 30 seconds, take a screenshot, crop it, and then upload it in my studio where I can put, stuff in my background. But I just thought you guys would be interested in that for some reason. Maybe not. I don't know. Alcohol is played up to be better than drugs because it's legal in the context of everyone has their drug too. Too much of anything can mean guns, weed, Xanax, coffee, television. On a side note, this is why I will forever be an OG only football fan, because many folks on YouTube forget that we're all humans and we end up chasing the bag rather than family atmosphere that is here. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's same with Jinja. It's been years. It's been years. I mean, it doesn't get much more ride or die than that, man. Also, you need to update your scorebook. Oh my god, I'm about to do it right now. Man, 3 minutes, 15 seconds left in quarter number 3. Get out of here. There we go. All right. There we go. Ball was out. Chargers recovered it. Jeez, what is going on? Oh my gosh, my mouse died. Don't do this to me right now. I just gotta give it like 15 seconds. All right, we're gonna need to put it on a little longer than that. I can't see the game. Here we go. I got it on my phone. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's coming back. Holding. Holding. What is going on? Charge, damn it. What is that? Oh, he's got a glove on? What are they showing? A dick? Dick pic on camera? Oh no, they're showing his hand. Here we go. 2nd and 13, 2-11. Shotgun formation. Pressure. coming. They're sending 5. Herbert dropping back. Pressure's coming. And he goes down. Down goes Herbert. Down goes Herbert. And with 1 minute and 55 seconds left in the third quarter, the Chargers will punt it back to the Eagles, who are down 4 with 1 minute 45 seconds currently left and ticking in the third quarter. Yeah, Kyle, you see the Eagles showing pressure. You know, Justin Herbert decides not to check out of the play. He knows it's coming, but he tries to hang in the pocket. But receivers just not able to get any separation and just kind of ran out of time there. And now they're just running a draw here to wave the old white flag. And here come the Philadelphia Eagles, and this is going to be a defensive match here. And my mouse has enough life. Hallelujah. Way to make it about you. Way to make it about you, Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman's like, yeah, I know all too well about. Really? Why are we talking about you? I'm just kidding. Just giving the guy a hard time. It's fun. That's a good looking score bug, huh? Brother Kyle, you may want to update the ticker, no doubt. I got to get over there for a UNC game. University of North Carolina, Michael Jordan. I got some pretty cool jerseys. All right. Jersey number 1. Peyton Manning. I mean, if you're a Broncos fan or a Colts fan, you got to have one of these in your closet. Jersey number 2. Giannis, the Greek Freak. I was born in Milwaukee. The first jersey I ever wore was a Milwaukee Bucks jersey. It was purple then. It's a picture of me holding my sister. Me, my sister, my brother were 7, 9, and 0. And we're all wearing Bucks stuff. I'm wearing a Ray Allen jersey. Fast forward to me being 21 years old. I'm working in a nightclub in Miami. Ray Allen just hit it's the Eastern Conference Finals. And Ray Allen hits a corner 3. People were leaving the Heat arena, and the Heat came back and won this game, and they beat the Celtics, and they're going to the finals. It was a magical game. Go look at it. Miami Heat. If you just put Heat, Celtics, Ray Allen shot, it'll come up right away. But that night he was out celebrating, and came to my club, and I remember because my job was to put the people come in and they put a table and they order a bottle of vodka. My job was to bring the bottles of pineapple juice, cranberry, and ice buckets, and just make sure they got ice and stuff like that. And in my little earpiece, I hear VIP, super VIP, get table 10 ready right now, super, super, super VIP. And I'm thinking, who the hell is here? And then Ray Allen walks in. I danced with Ray Allen's mom that night. Ray Allen's very close to his mom. She goes to all of his games, and she apparently goes to nightclubs with him. Ray Allen was with a bunch of friends. He didn't drink. He didn't do anything. He just sat there like a gentleman, nice and quiet. It was like he was there for them. And I'm thinking, Ray Allen, this is your night, man. You made the shot. And That's just the kind of guy Ray Allen is. One of my favorite guys of all time. Jerry Judy's high school jersey, because my brother went to the same high school. Deerfield Beach is in South Florida, between Fort Lauderdale and like West Palm. First and 5, 9, 8, 7 seconds left in the third, and incomplete. Yeah, he's not a Bronco anymore, so I don't wear this. My favorite one of them all, my Allen Iverson. My Allen Iverson jersey. This one needs no story. All I'll say is that was my Michael Jordan. And who was your Michael Jordan? Probably Michael Jordan. And of course, a Bubba Gump. Just kidding. Forrest Gump. What is this? I found something on the ground. Oh my gosh. It's another jersey that I got for Ginger. Ginger, I got you a Giannis jersey. This is from their finals, NBA finals, when the Bucks won. Was a game 7. He had 50 points. They said he couldn't make free throws, and he made like 25 free throws in that game against the Phoenix Suns. This is the jersey. It's for you, Ginger. And here's mine. So we'll be matching. That was actually a solid intro for Jordan. Dude, I've been working on that my whole life since I saw Space Jam. I had two growing up, an old starter and a decent Reebok. Was it Ray Allen? Absolutely. You knew it. You knew it. Dance with his mom. Is Drake May the most unsuccessful NFL player to come out of UNC? Oh, the most successful NFL player to come out of UNC. It's funny because you said UNC and I saw un, and I'm like severely dyslexic, which is something I found out people say that they don't mean, but in my case, I mean it. I do it. I do it every single day, just like that. So, is Drake May the most successful player to come out of UNC? Um, what about Michael Jordan? Oh, NFL. Um, nope. It's got to be Javante Williams. Javante Williams is pretty. I think they've had some good receivers come out of there too. I can't think right now. Yo, that's lit. I'm hella jealous, brother Kyle. Don't worry, Ginger. I got you a jersey, or Lily. I got you a jersey too. You ready? Oh, look at this jacket I got. Whoa, Saquon Barkley touchdown. What just happened? What just happened? The jersey I got for you, Lily, is in a box downstairs. But what just happened? My mom wants to talk to Eagles legend McNabb. That's awesome. Oh, they pitched it. Wow. So was that? It's crazy. The NFL, they didn't even have the score bug during that play of the pitch. I'm watching the game. There's no score bug, which I need to screenshot. They still have no score bug. I rewinded it. So they just didn't do that? Okay. I'm sure they did something when they went to commercial. No, not yet. No score. So that entire play, the replay, the extra point, and then even when they went to commercial, they never showed a score. So this time you can't get mad at me for the ticker. That's like the rookie Iverson jersey. That thing's sick, dude. I love that jersey. Oh no, my favorite jersey is obviously my Peyton Manning jersey from Tennessee. Because and I got these ones, this one has been autographed by Justin Simmons, Mike McGlinchey, and Derek Wolfe. It's crazy. I can't remember that getting signed. And then Javonte Williams. There it is. That's the greatest NFL player to ever come out of UNC right there. Forrest Gump, Florida State is lit too. That is actually Alabama, and if it was Florida State, it would probably be my favorite jersey. It does look like Florida State, especially with the lighting in here. But oh shit. Oh shit, got to be a jersey. Oh shit, you got me a jersey? Thank you, brother. Dude, that's sick. Absolutely. I thought it'd be cool if we matched. Is McConkey hurt? We're about to find out because oh, look at that. There was holding on Khalil Mack on that big run. The year Lose Yourself by Eminem came out, I saw Iverson playing Indiana. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Was better than marching Usher tank tops. Way better than matching Usher tank tops. Arguable. That is no debatable. All right. So the fourth quarter just started. So I'm gonna need 10 passing yards from each team. And I guess the Eagles scoring quick helps me somehow because it puts pressure on the Chargers to maybe be more aggressive than they would be if they were still winning this game 9-13. There you go. Yes. McConkey. Let's get a shootout here. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. How many passing yards did we get in the third quarter? Did we get Did we get 20? Third quarter, we got 7-yard pat. Here's first and 10. They're gonna run it here. So this is for the Chargers. We got 8-yard pass, so 8. 7-15. So we got 15 yards on their first drive. And then the Eagles. So the Chargers only had the ball twice in the third quarter. And they had 15 yards. 10-yard penalty, sack, 4-yard run. So they only had 15 passing yards in the third quarter. So that stinks. But we got our 10 yards. And now Herbert, wow. I don't know how he avoided that sack. He just got popped and somehow came away. Two tests apiece. How many passing yards do you need? Well, I need 10 passing yards from each quarterback. And Herbert, pretty sure he got it with the Ladd McConkey. Well, I can check because Ladd McConkey, yeah, that was a 12-yard pass. So now I just need Jalen Hurts to do it. And I win like $100. I bet 50 to win 50, essentially, for each quarterback to have 10 yards passing in each quarter. McConkey going deep. Oh, overthrew Vital. I think there's going to be one more big play by Omari and Hampton, and I don't know when, but it's coming. What did he do? He had a 12-yard catch. I need 30 from him. Okay, I think you'll get that. And I think somehow punting it here, it might help you because McConkey was actually opened if they would have got the ball out. And they're going to see that on their stupid little iPad and go back to him. 18 more yards from Ladd. Here's the punt. I got to pee. All right, so we are at the commercial. Let's go, Ladd, baby. I love that Nashoy's comments with the chair. Maybe you should walk with me a while. Maybe I should rest beneath your smile. Everybody stumbles sometimes and needs a hand to hold, 'cause it's a long trip alone. And I don't know where I'd be without your help. What's your favorite type of iceberg? Do you guys like the spearmint ones or the menthol ones? experiment. I respect it. I respect it. What happened on that punt? Oh, a face mask. These refs stink. All right, here we go. We're going to change the lighting. We're going darker purple here. Here we go. Throw it. 10 yards, 10 yards, 10 yards, 10 yards. Throw it. Look. Throw it. Yes. 10 yards. Boom. Ah. Here we go. Hurts. Intercepted. There he goes. Go. This game's going to have 15 turnovers. It gets louder when the Eagles have a turnover and the game's in LA. The Chargers are so pathetic. Sorry, that was violent. I knew the Bucks jersey you had when you were a kid. Easy going to be Allen. Second guess was Michael Redd. Definitely Ray Allen. I actually don't even know the other guy. I guess, I mean, I was 7 and I was the only team that I really already followed. Like I watched every game with the Broncos. I was so young that I remember my parents questioning how is he this invested in this? Because at that age, getting a kid to sit down for 3.5 hours, good luck. And especially me. But I did. I didn't leave, not for commercials, nothing. They're like, wow, he cares about it. At first it was just cute. Aw, he's a little football fan. And then it was like, wow, he's he really cares about this. And it's still kind of a mystery to everybody how that happened exactly. Handoff. Why is I know that they got Omarion Hampton on a pitch count because he's first game back from injury, but I've been seeing a lot of idle. Luckily, Omarion Hampton already scored a touchdown, had a couple big runs, but the Eagles' run defense has kind of stepped up since that opening drive. I did a fantasy football stream when Omarion Hampton got hurt because everybody was like, "Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Vidal or is it going to be what was the other running back's name?" Nobody knew because it was like Vidal got hurt, caught first down. Omarion Hampton got hurt, and it was 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and the Chargers had 2 possessions left in the game. One of them, Vidal got all the carries, and then the other one, it went to the other running back. I can't remember, but he got the whole thing. So all week it was like, well, we got these 2 running backs, and each one of them got, a full drive. So nobody knew who to add on waivers, who's going to be the guy that fills in for Omarion Hampton. And I made a whole stream about how it's going to be Vidal. And there were people on the Yahoo Fantasy chat and stuff how could you know that? How do you know it's going to be Vidal? Nobody knows who it's going to be. And I said, if you just did even the tiniest bit of research, because I found this out and it took me 2 minutes. And all I did was look up both players. I need to see how old they are. That makes a big difference. I need to see who they played for, previous teams. If one of them played for the Ravens, You know what I mean? Like, was under his brother. I'm gonna lean that guy. I'm looking for an edge, right? Which guy does Jim Harbaugh probably like? And the very first thing I find is that Vidal played at Michigan under Harbaugh. His entire collegiate career was with Jim Harbaugh. So I'm like, oh my God, why of all the fantasy pros, fantasy chats, ESPN fantasy, all the podcasts, nobody brought this up. And I'm like, this is like the low hanging fruit in the discussion. And yet I was the only buddy on the internet talking about it. And I would love to say, like, let me pat myself on the back, but that's just so obvious that it's like, it's not that I did anything awesome. It's that how is no one else doing the bare minimum amount of research on these players? They took Amari and Hampton out. It's 3rd and 3. Herbert's rolling to his right and throwing into the back of the end zone. McConkey was the closest to it, Jinja. Why are there 3 Denver fans in the crowd? Oh my God, because Denver wants the Chargers to lose so they can win the division? The camera just showed. Hold on. I can show you. Got it. Yes. Ooh, that was close. I almost didn't get it. It's going to be a fake field goal. Nope. Troy Aikman said that. This would be a good time for a fake field goal. Troy, if there's ever a time that's a good time for a field goal, a fake field goal, that's how you know it's a bad time for a fake field goal, right? You know when it's a good time for a fake field goal? When nobody says that. That's the whole point of a fake field goal. There has to be an element of surprise. If it's the perfect time for a fake field goal, you know what I mean? Like that comment's ironic. There's too much irony in that. It contradicts itself. It is time to update the ticker. Guys, I think this is the best primetime game I've streamed this year. Easily. I gave my dog a bath. And not Woody. Woody doesn't shed, but the other one. And these little tiny hairs are like in the air now. Who's that girl? Suck my dicka. My dicka? $56. There it is. Tie ball game, ladies and gentlemen. Tie ball game. 16 apiece. Do you guys like it when it's on top? Or how about right here between the American flag and Michael Jordan? No. Right in the middle. Right there. I think that's a good spot. He said, what about Mike Ditka? The really, you're not really a gum guy. Really a gum guy? I'm a gum guy. But sometimes if I'm like going in for an interview, I want a mint because it keeps my mouth from getting dry. Because if I get, I don't get nervous, but sometimes if it's like, I don't know, maybe it's when I'm dehydrated. But I've noticed randomly my mouth will like get dry when I'm having a conversation with important people. This would happen once in a while in the Navy if I was like talking to an admiral or something. And so I started carrying these mouth-watering lozenges on me, and I put it in the corner of my mouth. You can't tell it's there, but it like coats your mouth and it keeps it from getting dry. And I have all kinds of these little tiny tips and tricks that I do, and I've learned over the years. And one of them's lozenges and mints are really good. Gum, it's like you can put gum in the corner of your mouth, but I will at some point start smacking it. It's like, all right, I'm not going to do that. It's not there, and all of a sudden I'm in the middle of the conversation. I'm listening to them, and I'm into their story, and next thing you know, I'm chewing gum. I'm like, no, you weren't supposed to chew that. You're supposed to sit there. Devontae Smith with the quick catch goes down for a gain of 3. Like Daniel Bryan style, but with rhythm. Dude, I loved every sport equally when I was a kid. I was ate up with all of it all day, every day. For me, it was football and basketball. There was a period where it was baseball because I lived with my uncle, and they're like big Brewers fans. His son was like 8, 9 years old, and I was like 16. And he's in college now playing baseball, and he's a really good baseball player. But I knew he was going to be because that's all we did, and because I was hanging around them, I started watching. That's why the only baseball players like I know is Ryan Braun and Prince Fielders, besides like the Mark McGuire's, Babe Ruth, but like those guys, and I know because that was the time I was living with them. There's always at least one drunk game of the week. Literally football, baseball, basketball. I try to watch every game. That's crazy. Just you're like, no, I'm not. There's the tennis game on. Don't fuck with me. Hurts throwing it. Oh my gosh. Incomplete, and they're gonna have to punt it. Top. Denver fans be like, we need every edge we can get. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hold on. Or maybe they were like given tickets from their boss and they're like, "Oh, I'll go hate watch the Chargers." Honestly, I live in Tennessee, so if somebody from work was like, "Here, I'm gonna give you free tickets," I'm like, "I'm not going." I might have went to the Browns one because of Shedeur Sanders, but probably not because I don't want to see a boring game. If somebody gave me tickets to Monday Night Football, Chargers Eagles, I would be like, I'm definitely going to that. That is a fun game. Um, and if it's a division rival, then like, yeah, I'm wearing my Broncos jersey to fuck with Chargers fans. And it could have been something as simple as that. I don't think it was like fans in Denver that were like, we need the Chargers to lose, and then we're gonna fly to LA and we're gonna go to the Eagles game because of it. If anything, the team that should be actually cheering for the Eagles, the Broncos don't care what the Chargers are doing. I hate to break it to Charger fans, we're not worried about any team in the AFC West, but the Chiefs are the team that is watching because if the Eagles win tonight, next week the Chiefs play the Chargers, right? So the Chargers would, if the Chiefs won, right, the Chargers would have 2 losses in a row. And it doesn't necessarily get easier because then they go to Houston and play the Texans. So if the Chiefs win out and, let's say the Eagles win tonight and the Chiefs win out, then they would need is Houston to beat the Chargers, and the Chiefs would be back in the playoffs as the 7 seed. And that would be interesting because then it gets to week 18 and Denver has a decision to make. They could bench all of their starters and let the Chargers win, and guess what? It wouldn't matter that the Chiefs went out. The Chargers would be back in the playoffs. The Broncos can lose the game on purpose to kick out Kansas City, or they can win it and lock up the 1 seed. I know for a fact that Denver's not worried about the Chiefs, so I think Denver's going to play their starters and win. They care way more about getting the 1 seed. I know that they don't care about playing the Chiefs because when the Broncos lost to Buffalo last year in the post game, they were saying like, they're really upset that they lost that game because they knew, before the Buffalo game that they liked their odds next week, is how Sean said it. Because the Chiefs were the 1 seed and we were the 7, so it was like we knew if we beat Buffalo, we played the Chiefs. And Sean said in that post game that, we liked that matchup more than this one. We wanted to play the Chiefs. The Bills is another thing, but Sean is not going to play afraid of the Chiefs in the playoffs. So I think that's going to help the Chiefs. And here's a run, 1st and 10, gain of 0, maybe even lost the yard. Once again, here is the current AFC playoff picture. Chargers currently in the playoffs with a 8-4 record. Second and 11. Herbert looking. He's going to run. Oh, that was awkward. Is he okay? He's getting up. He's getting up. Here's the Bronco fans. This just happened. This is hilarious. I got to remove the ticker. This is hilarious. I need to make that the background for this. That's just too good to not be the background. Third and 7. Herbert wants to throw it, looking, trying to get away. Sack lunch. Nom, 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 nom. Wow. Seven sacks for this Eagles team. I'm going to turn the comments on the side. And boom. Look how awesome this is. This is great. And then, wow. I love this. The only thing is I need the ticker. There we go. I wonder if I can do background. Oh, let's see what happens if I do this. I'm experimenting. Okay, let's just go back to I'm like, what are you doing? I was trying to see if I could do it in a way where the ticker. They got to feed the ball to Saquon Barkley. That's what they said. 3:33 left to go. Tie ball game. Hurts hands it to Barkley. Nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Tick, 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 tick. Barkley ran into a wall. And I don't say that lightly. Here we go. 2nd and 9. Hurts. Quick throw. A.J. Brown shreds a tackle. Oh, hurdles over a man, but has to go out of bounds. But a gain of what looked like 15, maybe. Yes, 15. Wow. Here we go. Quick throw. Not there. You guys know who gave me my name NFL with Kyle? It was Bill. I was like, I don't know what to call this. And he goes, how about just NFL with Kyle? Eagles are pretty much in field goal territory right now. Quick throw. Caught. A.J. Brown all the way to the 25. Wow. Bay Boss. Here's a handoff. Barkley. Khalil Mack's going to say, nope, we're not doing that. Oh my gosh. This is game, you guys. What is going to happen here? 2 minutes, 27 seconds, 2nd and 11. Hurts taking a shot to the end zone. No, he dropped it. A.J. Brown had it in his hands. And A.J. Brown, he looks like he's having fun again. He really does. He looks like he's having a good time again. And I got to say, it feels good to see him smiling out there. All right. All right. So it was funny because that picture that I took with the Bronco fans in the audience, I couldn't I couldn't keep it because I couldn't keep it because it had the wrong score. And I'm like, "Oh my god, it's going to be confusing for people." Um so I did myself a favor. I mean, I did you guys a favor. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a huge 3rd and 11. Quick throw, Devontae Smith. Is that a fumble? They're going to call it incomplete. The new background. Look, it's me and Ginger. We're at the game. What? Me and Ginger are at the game? No way. That doesn't make any sense. How could we be at the game? There we go. Philadelphia makes the field goal. They're back on top. So, time to update the ticker. 3 yards to win 28 if Brown catches it. $3 to win 28 if Brown catches that. Ginger, brother, I got news for you. This game is obviously going to overtime. So, this is a great game for. Wait, if I place a bet that says that each team will have 10 yards in every quarter, does overtime technically count it as a quarter? Do I need both to do it in the overtime period as well? Fair question, right? All right. Here's the return, the 20 to the 30-yard line. In 11 seconds, we're going to be going to a commercial. Me and Ginger just enjoying the game at SoFi Stadium. Man, I'm so glad we went to this game, Ginger. This is awesome. You know, we're actually not far from where the Warrior games took place, where we could get on to the USS. What the hell is that boat? Hold on. 2nd and 10. I mean, 2 minutes and 10 seconds. 1st and 10. Herbert rolling, throwing. What the hell is that? Seriously, like, what is that throw? Once in a while, a quarterback will make a throw that you're just like, were you throwing that away? It's like, but you were out of the pocket. Why didn't you just throw it out of bounds? Load. Here we go. 2nd down. Herbert. Oh my gosh. Intended for McConkey. And now it's 3rd and 10. Don't worry, the Chargers are going to convert. It's what they do. Very good in these late game situations. Actually, let's see if I can get a no. That's good enough. The fact that your dad thought it was real, I just realized I am loose as fuck. Look how I have that cup in my right hand. And you know what? Look at this. We can delete this old one because me and Ginger aren't in that. And we go to downloads, 1018. Here we go. All right. I had to update it because of the field goal. It's 19-16, and I updated the time and everything. 2 minutes, 16 seconds. Wait, I got to turn this off. Boom. And I got to make my box smaller. There we go. Look, even me, I kind of like that little, that's me at the Bengals game, but it looks like I'm kind of like watching the new one. Add item, cancel. This is it. This is the ball game. There's nothing left they can do. If they don't convert on the next 2 plays, the Chargers have only 1 timeout left. How will it end? How will it end? Here we go, 3rd and 10. Herbert looking, firing. Oh, he had a guy. Flag. There it is. There it is. It was on Johnson. It was obvious when he was coming out of his break. He was held, and he still almost was able to make a play on it. But if Quinyon Mitchell doesn't hold him here, this could have been a major, maybe a touchdown. Look at if he catches this, if he turns up field, who's catching him? Like that's a touchdown. Look, nobody has an angle on him. Blankenship and I don't see how the announcers don't say that is crazy. Oh, look at him avoid the. See, this is what Herbert does. This is why I told you, don't even worry. Honestly, Cooper DeJean just did him a big favor. He was in bounds. That would have been a legal hit, and he just decided not to do it. He could have done it. That's class. That's class. The people on X aren't going to like that from the Philadelphia Eagles because it doesn't fit the narrative of the Eagles. Here's a handoff, and this is going to be vital to the 40. Oh, wait. I'm not even standing up straight. I was feeling good as fuck. Good that he doesn't get a TD. Cooper DeJean is not a safety. No, he's a nickel. I didn't say he was a safety. When I said the safety, I was talking about number 32, who is DeJean's 33. I believe it's Blankenship who is playing safety are you talking about on the penalty? Reed Blankenship. Yeah, he's a safety. Reed Blankenship. He's just a cornerback who will lock down your number 1. Yeah, he's not the greatest. They don't really ask him to do that. Lock down the number 1. He's more of a nickel position type corner, which is what very involved in the linebackers, the middle of the field, the short intermittent stuff. It's like how we use our draft pick. Hold on. Herbert, first down. 47 seconds. They are in field goal range. Wow. The clock is going to continue to run. 40 seconds and counting. Oh my gosh. That's going to be short. They got to snap it. That was not a first down. They don't snap the ball. They're going to stop. Oh my God. They got so lucky. Herbert's keeping it himself. And he goes all the way to the 20. That was not a first down. Nash, that was not a first down. Did you see it, Nash? Jinja? Tell me someone else saw that. Holy crap. I talked about overtime. The Chargers are going to have a chance to win this game, but with the amount of turnovers that have been thrown, do you even want to take a chance at? If I'm Harbaugh, I'm using this timeout to be like, listen, come here. We can't lose this game because of an interception here. Don't be a hero. We don't have to win the game here. We can win it in overtime. You got to believe that, okay? At the same time, if there's something there, take a shot. You know what to do. Nothing stupid. It's one of those games where the ball wants to go to the other team. Don't give it any reason to. Here we go. 2nd and 1. Don't like how far he's backpedaling, and he's going to throw it away. It's like, don't take yourself out of field goal range. Jinja, I decided that I needed to lower us down a little bit in order for it to look more realistic. There. Now it actually looks like we're there in person. Here we go. Quick throw. Oh, man, he almost broke on it. There it is. I created my own custom layout. So that way I can see my little logo. See, that's me at the Bengals game, me at the Colts game, all in one picture. Here's the field goal. Snap, kick is good. Kicker Dicker has done it. 19-19, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what your bedtime is, and I don't know which side of the country you live on, but whether you're in the east, the west, or the middle of the United States of America, even if you're in mountain time living in Grand Lake, Colorado, 4,000 feet above sea level, it doesn't matter. The show goes on. They're going to need a wrecking ball to get us out of here because we ain't going nowhere. They're going to need to call in the SWAT team or the National Guard because we ain't leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. Unless this kick, of course, gets taken back to the house. Then the game is over. What's up with the random band on the... Oh, that was pregame. And this is going to be returnable. Why the hell would they do that? Oh, because maybe they could get in field goal range. Oh, not... Okay, that's smart. Because it's like if you make them return it, they think, from their perspective, oh, we can maybe take it back to the house and win it. But in reality, if you kick it out of the back of the end zone, they get the ball in the 30 with 9 seconds. They have 2 timeouts. If they get a 20-yard completion, they can kick a game-winning field goal. And the Chargers did the right thing. They were like, no, we're going to make them return it. It costs 6 seconds, and now they have to take a knee. We're going to overtime, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to overtime. And Jinja, what did I tell you? I told you we were going to overtime. I told you. You believed me. I'm just saying. This game had overtime written all over it from the 7-minute mark, maybe. I mean, honestly, the whole fourth quarter kind of felt like that. I'm going to do this for you guys. I know that you're not dumb, and I'm not trying to insult your intelligence, but I just think it's good production value on my end. All right. Overtime rules. You know what? There's a better place for this. Heads, tails. Eagles, you're the visiting team. What's the call? The choice is heads. It's heads. Eagles win the coin toss. Now, typically, and this is kind of interesting. Let me do something really quick. Add item, media slot, and we'll make it like that big. There we go. Overtime. Overtime rules. 1 period, 10 minutes. Each team has an opportunity to possess the ball. I don't need this anymore. There we go. And see. Let's see if that looks a little bit better. Okay. 1 period, 10 minutes. What I was going to say was, for all of my life, overtime is all about being the team to receive the ball, because if you scored a touchdown, the game was over. If you kicked a field goal, the game was over. Then the overtime rules changed. If you kicked a field goal, then the other team had a chance to kick a field goal or score a touchdown and win the game. If they kicked a field goal, it goes to sudden death. And then they changed it again. And now, no matter what happens on the first drive, the other team gets a chance with the ball. If both teams score, it goes to sudden death. But if the team that scored first, then the second team scores, that team is likely going to go for 2 because they know it's sudden death. So it's basically, how much do you trust your defense? They get the ball in a tie game in sudden death, or I go for 2 and win by a point, which makes it an interesting call if you score first, whether or not you should go for 2. Now, if you don't get the 2-point conversion and the other team scores, now an extra point wins the game. But I think with this new rule, what you really want to do if you win the coin toss is defer. Because if you're deferring, at least you know what you need before you come on the field. If you go first, you don't really know. If you don't get a touchdown, you don't know if they're going to score or not. But if you get the ball second, and that's what the Eagles are doing, they're kicking it off to the Chargers, and here's Justin Herbert. I love this new overtime rules because there's so many layers that complicate it. And Justin Herbert is going to pull it back in a RPO, plant a foot, and take off. And this is what happens when you have edge rushers that are over pursuing. He over pursues on Vital, and as soon as he pulls that ball back to become a runner, the Eagle edge rusher becomes a chasing ghost. And you don't want to be chasing ghosts when it's Justin Herbert running the football. He's a lot faster than you think. Here's a handoff, and there goes Amarian Hampton. I knew he had one more big play in him. There you go. All the way to the 40-yard line. Welcome back. Look at that. And Amarian Hampton, I don't know how much pain he's in, but he looks healthy to me. He does. I think he had a small fracture in his ankle. He was in a boot for over a month. This was a very significant injury. So here we go. 8 minutes, 30 seconds in the overtime period. They're going to give it back to Hampton. He's going to pick up 2. And all the people out there in the Yahoo Fantasy chat that said that I was an idiot for starting Amarian Hampton because he wasn't going to play this week. And if he did, he wasn't going to play more than 5 snaps. All I got to say is that's all I got. 2nd and 8. Herbert and shotgun. Vital is checked into the game. Stacked receivers to the top of the screen. Quick throw, quick hit. And that is Blankenship. And man, I think this is a time where wasn't there a guy with the last name Cox on the Eagles not too long ago?
Tyrell Williams. He beats Cox.
He beats Cox. It would be a 55-yard field goal from where they're at. If they take a sack, they're in big trouble. Herbert's staying in the pocket, now stepping up, and he's going to get a yard, but now it's going to be a 54-yard field goal. And what do they do now? Do they kick a 54-yard field goal? Because then if the Eagles score, they win. Or if they kick the field goal and they don't get it, they're giving up field position where the Eagles would only need 15 yards and they could kick a field goal to win the game. Obviously, you want to kick the field goal here because this is the longest attempt of the night, but Dicker, the most accurate kicker, and it is going to be good if it has the leg. It got it. He got it. 22-19. And that was a perfect kick. It was a perfect kick, no doubt about it. Somebody check that man's pulse. That guy is so level-headed. No, Nash, you have to stay up. Come on. Don't do this to us. Not now. Not on New Issue Day. On New Issue Day? I will eat your goldfish. I should have put 3 on it. I'm dumb. I don't think it's over. Remember, if the Eagles kick a field goal, it goes into sudden death. The Chargers get the ball again. And for those saying the Eagles wouldn't do that because then, they were playing for a tie. They wouldn't play for a tie. They would if the team that is right behind them has a tie. Yeah, you got to think about that. The Packers chasing the Eagles, the 1 seed, the 2 seed. Here's the deal. The Packers have a tie. That tie, all right, that tie makes a big difference. Because if the Eagles get that tie with the Packers, then the Packers tie can't come back to bite them. But if the Eagles lose this game because they're trying to get a win, I don't know if a win is more valuable. You know what I mean? The risk reward for a win versus losing, the risk reward may not be enough for the fact of how much a tie would help the Eagles in a unique situation, right? Oh, come on, Nash. Can you remember that playoff game when Hasselbeck said, "Oh yeah." He said, "We're gonna get the ball and we're gonna score," and he threw a pick six to the Packers. It wasn't that McKenzie. He was one of my favorite players as a kid. What is it? Isaiah McKenzie, I think it was. He beats Cox. I meant I should have put 3 on it going to overtime. Oh, okay. It was Isaiah McKenzie? Hell yeah. Look at that. What a pull. Here's a handoff, and it's going to be Barkley. So, with this game being in overtime right now, the Eagles, the freaking Chargers didn't throw the ball one time. I really hope that this overtime period doesn't count against me for the 10, you know what I mean? 10 passing yards in each quarter, because that would be the biggest load of bullshit. I think it might. Hurts throwing it incomplete. Let's see. How do I look up like a question I have? Oh my god, I think it does count as overtime. Overtime counts as a quarter. That's fucking so fucking dumb. Fuck. Fuck. All right, so now it's 3rd and 16. Hurts. Yes, Devontae Smith caught it. Awesome. They're going to get a field goal, I think. That was a huge play. That is absolutely clutch. Here we go. Barkley. Overtime counts for full game markets like total passing yards, entire game, second half. That's okay. It says no for quarter specific bets. FanDuel overtime does not count. Here we go. Hurts. Okay, they're in field goal range. So there you go, Jinja. As long as they kick this field goal, the Chargers and the Eagles, 2 timeouts. I put it up on the screen here. I'm clipping it Here, I have a second. Okay, I can finish it. Oh wait, no, 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 no! Don't do that! Don't do that! Go away! There we go. Ah, it would be a 60-yard field goal from here. I'm trying to give you freaking guys this. Here we go. 3rd down and 4. They're blitzing. A.J. Brown can't make the one-handed catch. It's 4th and 4. What do they do? Do they go for it? The offense is staying on the field, so this is going to be game. It's coming down to this one play. So forget about the ticker for now. Okay? Just pretend it doesn't say that. 10:44. Are they just going to try to draw them off sides, or do they really snap it? This is the ball game. 3:23 left in overtime. Timeout is taken by the Chargers. Chargers don't like what they see, or they said, hey, we got a timeout. We can't take it with us. We're just going to go ahead and they're right on the brink. Here we go. They don't want to lose with a 61-yard field goal missed. Oh! False start. Who's it going to be on? There was an initial jump, but then the offensive lineman for the Eagles jumped to try to... It's going to be on the Chargers. It's an automatic first down. How does that happen? In this moment, with the game on the line. Oh my gosh, how do you do that? How do you make that mistake? That might cost them the actual game. First down now. Here we go. Quick throw, and it's caught. And just like that, this is now, instead of a 61-yard field goal, a 51-yard field goal. Wow. And I was somehow able to do it. You guys, I updated the ticker. There you go. Enjoy. Overtime rules are gone. You get it. You know what's at stake. Here we go. Hurts, 2nd and 7. Looking. Rolling. Top of the screen. Throwing. Caught. Dallas Goedert. He's got the first down and 4 extra yards. A gain of what looked like 14. 16. And just like that, the Eagles now are in the red zone. Look at this. 18-yard line, 17-yard line, shotgun. This is going to be a handoff to Barkley, I bet. Here we go. Handoff. No, he pulls it wide open. It's intercepted. The Chargers win. The Chargers win on an interception off of a tip in overtime. That's the game. They still have to confirm the interception. He may have had a foot out of bounds before he caught the ball. If he did, he is not allowed to touch the football. Think about this. It looked like his foot may have went out of bounds briefly, and then he caught the ball, which would have been illegal touching. We need to look at this. Why is everyone shaking hands? Is this not a turnover? Will we review every turnover unless it's the end of the game when it's the most important? What is going on? Is this not even worth a look? Look, we review every turnover. Why would a game-winning turnover be any different? His foot, it was sliding. It's close enough to look. That's all I'm saying. Let's see that foot. It stayed in. It stayed in. And the ball never moved. And the Chargers have done it. And this is going to make things really interesting in the NFL now. This is going to be a very interesting move. Now, just from this game right here, you're going to have the Eagles drop to 8-5. 8-5. Wow. In the hunt. Wow. Wow. All right. Well, the Chargers find a way to get the win in Omarion Hampton's first game back. He gets the touchdown. This is, I think this was one of the best games I've seen this year. Neither bets hit for me, dude. I've been so cold this year. This game was incredible, and it was only fitting that it ended with another turnover. What a heads-up play there at the end. The ball gets tipped, and Jalen Hurts, for some of the throws he made today, like that 3rd and long when the Eagles when they got the ball in overtime after the Chargers kicked the field goal, their first couple plays were like, what, wait, was it that? I can't remember when it was. I think it was in the 4th quarter, but I think it was 3rd and long because there was a penalty. There was a penalty, and it looked like the Eagles weren't going to be able to convert. And Jalen Hurts just made an incredible throw, like extremely clutch over the middle of the field. If you guys know which one I'm talking about, if you see a guy make a throw like that, you're like, this guy. I mean, in that moment, like, it Hurts has a lot of times in these games where you're like, man, I just wish he would give me something more. But when he's like making throws like that, it's like he's got it. He's a very interesting player to figure out. But here's the thing: he's a winner. But tonight he's not, and that's been a common theme with the Eagles. And I mentioned this when you looked at the Eagles last year. It was like, was Jalen Hurts lighting it up last year? No. They were 31st in passing yards per game, and they were the 2nd best rushing team in the league. So nobody really cared that Jalen Hurts wasn't throwing the ball for 200 yards, because when you're winning, nobody cares how you do it, especially if you're doing it the same way every week. It gets dressed up as your identity. Not to say it's not true, it is your identity, but when you start to lose football games and people are going to start looking at things and go, hey, this guy, I mean, what's going on? He's got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Why are these guys not playing a bigger role? You got A.J. Brown, saying to drop him in fantasy. It seemed like 3 different occasions you had a locker room event, but every time I see him in an interview, he seems like he's being professional, positive. He's just frustrated. Like, I'm so much better and I'm just not getting opportunities. Like, I had a game with 2 targets. How am I getting 2 targets? And these things start to make people wonder, like, okay, what's going on with the Eagles? I said this week 5 when I was in Wisconsin for the wedding. I was getting ready. I'm like game planning. I always do this. I game plan, like, how can we beat this team? And I discovered something. The Eagles, you want to talk about fraudulent. The Eagles are the most sus team in the NFL. I don't like the word fraudulent because, like, that implies that they're just not good. And, like, I'm not going to say that about the Eagles, but I am going to say that it was a ticking bomb. And it's the same thing with the Chiefs last year. Winning close games is fine. It's the way the Chiefs did it last year. They needed a blocked field goal. It seemed like it was voodoo-ish. Same thing with the Eagles this year. You're looking at the Eagles and you're like, this is interesting. These were my notes from the Eagles game, and this is relevant, and this is turned into the post-game breakdown. But Saquon Barkley averaging 62.2 rushing yards per game and only 3.8 yards per carry. Okay? The Eagles are the only team all right, let me get to that. Every team that's top 10 in rushing attempts is top 10 in rushing yards, except the Eagles, right? So this is very, like, per standard, okay? It's the same thing with, like, if you look at the teams that have the most pass attempts on them, right? The 7 teams, it's like, who are the 7 teams? If you look at who gets the most pass attempts on them, 5 of those 7 teams also give up the most passing yards per game, right? So it would make sense that the 10 teams that rush the ball more than any other team are the 10 teams that have the most rushing yards of any other team. More opportunity equals more volume equals more yards, besides the Eagles. So when people are looking at Saquon and saying, why isn't he good? The first thing we can rule out is that they're not feeding him, because the Eagles are feeding Saquon Barkley. It just hasn't been resulting in yards. Like I said, 3.8 yards per carry, 62.2 rushing yards. And this was at November 23rd. Okay. The Eagles are continuing to run the football, but they're not efficient at doing it. The Eagles are 27th in passing first downs per game with 9.2. So think about this. Why are they 27th in passing first downs? Well, if you're not efficient at running the ball, that means you're running the ball on first down, second down. Typically, those are running downs. But if you're not picking up yards, that equals third and long, doesn't it? If you're not picking up the easy yards on first and second down, you're putting your team in a position where it's 3rd and 7 or more, and that's why the Eagles are almost the worst team in the category of passing first downs, because if it's 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, that isn't a down that you would run the football. If it's 3rd and 2, it's like maybe they'll run it, maybe they won't. We don't know. But if they do pass it, these are very high probability first downs. The Eagles aren't in 3rd and 2, in 3rd and 3, so they're passing it, but it's obvious passing downs. And there's no like, oh, this is the pass play, but it's an extension of the run to pick up 2-3 yards. You can't run a play like that to pick up 7 or 8 yards. And that is why the Eagles are 27th in passing first downs per game. The Eagles are the 3rd worst team in the NFL when it comes to third downs being converted per game. There's only 2 teams worse than the Eagles. when it comes to just overall third down conversion percentage. That's not good. That means that they're not extending drives. That means they're getting a ton of 3 and outs. Their defense is staying on the field too long. The only team worse is Minnesota, Atlanta, and Tennessee, and then Philadelphia. Okay. Philadelphia has 4.3 averages, 4.3 first downs being converted per game. That's insane. So the Rams are right behind the Eagles, 4.3, but that's due to their offense being so good. And like I said, with all stats, context is important. It's like, okay, the Eagles and the Rams are next to each other, but they're entirely different. Why are the Rams next to the Eagles as far as the fewest amount of third downs being converted per game? Because the Rams don't get to third down. That's how good their offense is. The Rams don't even get to third down. They convert second down to first down to first down, second down to first down to first down. And then in once in a while they get to a third down. You know what I mean? So you can't just look at the amount of third downs converted per game without that context. And that's why the Rams and Eagles are neck and neck. But we know with the Eagles that that's not their problem. That's the Rams' reason for being there. The Eagles' reason for being there is because their offense stinks. It stinks. And we know that's not the case with the Eagles. We can check this too by seeing how the Rams rank or where the Rams rank in first downs per play. And the Rams are second in the NFL, 0.364 first downs per play. Okay. So there's only one team that's converting, that I guess when you average it out, like first downs per play just averages the amount of first downs they get in a given game and divided by how many plays they ran offensively. And that's the number. I think the Colts were first, if I'm not mistaken, when I wrote this, and the Rams were second. But that's how you can easily check it, because it's like the Rams are one of the worst at the amount of third downs they're converting per game, but they get the second most first downs per game. So boom, you know what I mean? That's just the quick and easy way to say, okay, the Rams not converting a bunch of third downs per game has nothing to do with them being a bad offense. It's quite the opposite. But we can't say this about the Eagles. The Eagles really just stink. The team's ranked in the bottom 7 for first downs per play. All right. That same metric that we use to check the Rams. If we look at the bottom 7 in the NFL, the worst is Cleveland. The second worst is Tennessee. The third worst is the Raiders. The fourth worst is the Saints. The fifth worst is the Jets. And the sixth worst, the Eagles. You guys, I've looked at these stats from every angle, and the only conclusion is that this is a very bad offense. Very bad. And interestingly enough, the team that's sixth worst is the Texans. The Texans are the best defense in the NFL. I think so. And I'm biased to Denver, but they just are. I think Denver, you can make a case for both, but it's like 1A and 1B. In the Texans, they find themselves with the type of record they have, instead of like being a 13-1 team or whatever, they're a struggling team that wins and loses, and they're not winning their division. They're the 7th seed currently. They're 8-5, and it's because of how bad their offense has been. With the Eagles, they are one of the worst passing offenses in the game, and they're one of the worst passing or rushing offenses and passing offenses. So when we were getting ready to play the Eagles week 5, I remember the Eagles were 4-1, and everybody had the Eagles number 2 or number 3 in their power rankings. And I'm sitting here at the wedding. It's nighttime. I'm in my bed. Mary's sleeping, and I'm looking and I'm trying to game plan on how to beat the Eagles. And I'm like trying to find what the Eagles do well. Nada. There isn't something you can find. They don't run the ball well. I'm looking at rushing attempts. I'm like, well, maybe Barkley doesn't have a ton of rushing yards because he's not getting a ton of attempts. It's the opposite. Maybe Hurts isn't throwing the ball, because he's not getting a ton of attempts. He's getting enough attempts right there with some of the best offenses in the game. Well, maybe they're just converting on first and second down. That's why they don't convert on third down. No, they're with the worst in the league as far as converting. How about total yards? They're 30th. How are the Eagles winning these games? That was my big question, and it kept me up till like 3 in the morning. I went outside to hit my vape, and my Uncle Wolf is still up drinking, and I'm like, he's like, "You all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You seem like you're thinking about something." And I'm holding my phone with my notepad open, and I'm like, "I don't know how the Eagles keep winning." And he just started laughing. He's like, "Dude, you really just don't like, your football brain does not turn off." But it's like a mind-boggling thing. So, the only thing I could do is go back and watch the Eagles highlights from week 1 through 4 and see, well, how did they win these games? And it was very obvious. The Eagles were relying solely on 1 or 2 big plays per game. There would be like a 60-yard touchdown to Devontae Smith or a 50-yard touchdown to A.J. Brown, and then they would do nothing for 3 quarters. That hasn't stopped. We saw that with the Eagles game, right? They were winning 21-0, but I have a master's degree on the Philadelphia Eagles, and I was streaming that game, and I said, this is going to be a ball game because the Eagles simply do not have the capability to keep scoring. Matter of fact, the fact that they've already scored 21 points, it's more likely that the Eagles are done for the day, which was crazy because I said that and it was the second quarter. They didn't score another point in that game. It's like you get a couple big plays, and when they're out, right? There's no reaching back into the bucket to get a couple more. The Eagles are still a team that when you see the talking heads on TV talk about, there's a lot of respect there. There's a lot of admiration. There's a lot of benefit of the doubt. And quietly, I believe that there's been no team given the benefit of the doubt more than the Eagles. And I think if any other team was as playing like the Eagles, nobody would nobody would even be like respecting the team. But the Eagles are winning their division. They've won the Super Bowl last year. But the fact of the matter is, this is a repeat of what we saw in 2023, right? 2022, the Eagles go to the Super Bowl. Hurts plays the best game I've seen in my life, maybe one of the best quarterback performances ever. And then they lose. Nick Sirianni stays, but they lose to the Colts and to the Cardinals, their offensive coordinator, their defensive coordinator, and then they lost their identity. And we all started wondering, like, what does Sirianni do here exactly? Because look how bad they are when they lose their coordinators. Jonathan Gannon and Shane Steichen both left, and it really made a bad effect on the Eagles. And then they fire them and then bring in Kellen Moore. And I knew at the time that they did that, I was like, this is a massive signing. Kellen Moore is so underrated. Everything he did in Dallas, 40-plus points per game. The only reason he left Dallas was because he knew he wasn't going to get the credit under McCarthy that he needed. So he went to L.A., but then Herbert got injured, and he had to go with Easton Stick all year. And it's like, of course, you couldn't get the offense doing much. So then that whole regime gets fired with Brandon Staley. And the Eagles were like, hey, we'll take Kellen Moore. And look what Kellen Moore did. I think we can respect it. I respected it then. I think other people can respect it now. look at how this Eagles team looks with Kellen Moore being gone, right? They are not the same at all. They can't run the football. I don't know if it's they have the same offensive line coach. So it's weird because usually I would say, well, maybe it's the scheme. It has to be the play calling. It's not the design of the run, which could be a reason the running game not working is like, oh, the running plays are just designed poorly. That's not it. It's execution and it's play calling because when the play calling is so obvious, then it becomes very challenging to run the ball. But the Eagles last year, they were able to keep teams on their heels. Of course, they leaned in the run game, but teams were on their heels, and if you overplayed the run, Hurts would, kill you with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Like, all of that is gone. There's no magic to the Eagles, and that's why they're a repeat of what we saw in 2023. It's just happening one off, one on, one off, one. And next year, I'm sure they'll be good again when they bring in 2 new coordinators to fix it. But in 2023, like they get bounced in the first round. They played a game against Tampa Bay. It wasn't even close. I remember telling Rick in the offseason, I'm like, my prediction is that with the Eagles, they're going to have a down year. They're going to win enough games to make it into the postseason, but they're going to lose in the first round. And I even predicted it would be against Tampa just because I felt like it was going to be an exact replica of 2023. And it has been, if not worse, in my opinion. All right, let's see what the comments say about this. Jinja, Texas defense is good because the personnel, yes, but the coach that they have, they take on his personality on that side of the ball where Sean has just put together an unknown name of now all pros. Thank God Kellen Moore didn't get another shot with a healthy Herbert, the pervert. Yeah. And Jim Harbaugh and his offense, like, it works. It's not sexy, and it was never meant to be. It's very much that's why we need Joe Walt. You know what I mean? Like we're not. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I finally got what I was waiting for. Um, I come away from this game, right, because I'm looking at all these games now through the lens of the Super Bowl, right? And every team is doing this. It is every game we watch with a team that's currently in the playoff picture or on the bubble is all about one question, right? Should I be afraid of this team? That's what it's all about. We're just trying to figure out if we should be afraid of these teams. And I got to say, like, I don't come away from this game thinking that either of these teams are legitimate contenders. And I don't know if other people are going to share that sentiment, but I do. Since this is going to be here it is. I believe it's this one. Saquon Barkley talking next to his locker right now, saying we beat ourselves, didn't play good enough. That's the thing too. It's like they're trying so hard to get these guys going, and then when Barkley does have a game with 20 rushes, 122 yards, and a touchdown, it's like they lose, and you're like, what? Same thing with AJ Brown. AJ Brown's like, they're winning all these games, then AJ Brown's like, I need the ball more. AJ Brown wasn't getting the ball in these wins, and then they start targeting him, and then he has like 7 catches on 11 targets for 100 yards and a touchdown, and the Eagles lose. And it's like, it just feels like there's not a right answer to fixing the Eagles right now. It's just like it's not one guy that it's like, hey, if we just get this guy going, if it was, it would have been a win tonight, right? Because Barkley had 120 freaking yards, on 20 carries. That's plenty of production from the running back position, and yet that didn't result in the Eagles having like a very good offense. The red zone. How many times did they get in the red zone and they couldn't score any points? How often did that happen? It felt like a lot. Here's the updated playoff picture right now. Bears went from first to ninth in 1 week. They went from first to seventh, but still, that's quite the fall. Or I'm sorry, uh, was it seventh? I think it was fifth. No, seventh. Yeah, they went to the seventh. And then Hardee's has legitimate tenders. That's hilarious. Is that what you just heard? That's so funny. But yeah, here's the updated playoff picture. You got your division leaders, the Broncos, the Patriots, the Jaguars, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The big question is who's going to win the AFC North between the Texans and the Jaguars? Because people are starting to assume that Jacksonville's in. That Jacksonville's going to be able to maybe even play a home game in the playoffs in Liam Cohen's first year, which I did predict. I'm trying to think what predictions I made that aren't coming true. I guess I had the Steelers winning their division, which, well, they're winning it right now, but I don't know if they're going to. It's crazy to think Cincinnati is only 3 games back, with mostly divisional games coming up. But then they're 1 game behind Pittsburgh. So I think it's obvious that there's one team coming out of the North, and that's who wins the division. But with only 4 games left, if Pittsburgh wins 1 more game, Cincinnati's eliminated, okay? And then it becomes, okay, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, which we already think it's Pittsburgh or Baltimore, but then it becomes a matter of fact. If Pittsburgh wins 1 more game, it's like, all right, who's going to win the division? And that's it. So Pittsburgh or Baltimore will not be in the playoffs this year. And I got to say, the way that the Ravens are, and yeah, Isaiah Likely caught that ball, right? But the way that the Ravens are trending, I'm feeling the Steelers, and both of these teams, I feel exactly the same about right now. Like they're the same, in my opinion. Defense, like the Steelers' defense is horrid, but both offenses can't get going. I will say this: Aaron Rodgers looked better than I've seen him in 2 years, maybe on Sunday. I don't know what happened, but whatever it was, if it's something that Aaron Rodgers can like, I don't know if it's like, yo, it's December, like this is my last year, like I'm not going out like this, and this is just him flipping a switch. It'll be very interesting to see, like what happens next, because we're gonna see Aaron Rodgers on primetime Monday Night Football against the Dolphins, and then the Ravens are gonna go against the Bengals, and if the Bengals lose that game, they're eliminated, and it becomes, a two-team race. But if the Bengals win that game and the Dolphins win that game, say the Dolphins, let's just say the Bengals get a win next week, and the Dolphins beat the Steelers on Monday night, which the Dolphins are playing actually pretty good football right now. I think they should be maybe the favorite with Achane at home, primetime television, Waddle. I like what the Dolphins are doing right now. And if they win out, they have an opportunity to go to the playoffs. If they lose, they're out. The Steelers aren't in that boat. And if the Bengals beat the Ravens, then the Steelers will have a one-game lead on the Ravens, even if they lose to the Dolphins, because Steelers just beat the Ravens to take a one-game lead. So if both teams lose, it doesn't hurt the Steelers. So it's not like it's a playoff game for them. However, for the Bengals, it is a playoff game, and for the Dolphins, it is a playoff game. And if you were to just pick the two teams who have the most at stake, you would pick the Miami Dolphins and you would pick the Cincinnati Bengals. So let's do it and see what happens. Then you go to week 16, and the Steelers are playing the Detroit Lions, and the Ravens are playing the New England Patriots. And the Bengals are playing the Dolphins. And that's your moment of truth. Like, one of those teams gets eliminated, and they're going to do it to each other. Who's going to break whose heart? I think the Bengals win that game. And I'm going to take the Patriots at Ravens. I don't know. Let's say the Ravens win that one, okay? And let's say the Steelers, they end up losing. All right, so this is week 16. Bengals beat the Dolphins. Then the Steelers are going to lose to the Lions. And the Ravens are going to beat the Patriots. Then we go to week 17. And I'm only doing the AFC North. 2 weeks left in the season. The Bengals are playing the Cardinals at home. All right, you take the Bengals to win that game. Then you have the Ravens who play the Packers. The Packers are a better team right now. And then the Steelers are having a matchup against the Browns. I think the Steelers win that one. Then you go to week 18 and the Steelers and Ravens play each other. Let's say the Ravens win. And then the Browns and Bengals play. Let's say the Bengals win. The Bengals would be in the playoffs. Did you guys see that? With an 8-9 record, the Bengals would be in the playoffs. I don't think you guys understand. This is why I placed that bet for the Bengals to make the postseason, because it seems like so astronomically impossible. The Bengals will be in the playoffs with an 8-9 record. I didn't do anything weird, by the way. Look at this. I didn't do anything weird, okay? This is week 14 right now. It just ended. We go to week 15. All I did was have the Bengals going against the Ravens. Bengals win. And then the Dolphins beating the Steelers on Monday Night Football. Like I said, I like the way the Dolphins are playing right now, and they're trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. The Steelers aren't in that situation. Week 16, I got the Bengals over the Dolphins. They're going to break their heart, but that's how it ends. And then the Patriots over the Ravens and the Lions over the Steelers. That's not crazy at all, right? And I put the Ravens over the Patriots. I could take the Patriots over the Ravens. It doesn't matter. This game's irrelevant. What does matter is that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to lose to the Lions, which takes us to week 17. And I took the Bengals over the Cardinals. I took the Packers over the Ravens. And then I even took the Steelers to beat the Browns. I'm like, yeah, the Steelers are going to win that one. And then I went to week 18, and I was like, all right, the Bengals are going to beat the Browns. And then I'm like, the Steelers aren't sweeping the Ravens. All right, I'll take the Ravens in that one. And that's what happens. That's the conclusion of it. You end up having 1, 2, 3 teams that are 8-9, with Cincinnati owning all of the tiebreakers and not only being in the playoffs, but being a 4 seed playing a home game In the divisional round, it'll be the wild card round, but they will be at home with Joe Burrow in the playoffs, and they will immediately become the most dangerous team in the AFC, and maybe even a Bengals-Rams Super Bowl rematch will be predicted. I don't think America realizes there's not that much weird stuff that needs to happen for this to take place. Nothing I did was weird. I gave the Steelers their wins against teams like the Cleveland Browns. I gave the Ravens a win against the New England Patriots, and I gave them a loss against the New England Patriots. It changed nothing. I gave the Bengals a win over the Dolphins. I mean, is that crazy? I gave the Lions a win over the Steelers. Why wouldn't I? Okay. Then I gave the Packers a win over the Ravens. All right. That's happening. The Bengals over Cardinals. And then I'm like, yeah, give the Steelers the win over the Browns. I'm just saying, like, and then Bengals over Browns. These are easy games. And then this one right here, if the Steelers beat the Ravens, which would be a sweep of the season, then the Steelers are in the playoffs. But if week 18, the Ravens want to play spoiler and they say, we're not getting swept by you, and they win that game, that would mean the Bengals would make it. I mean, the Bengals are going to be cheering for the freaking Ravens week 18, just like the Chiefs are going to be cheering for the Broncos week 18. It's going to be a weird week 18, man. Bungles are destined to fall short by one game once again. Yeah, but in order for that to happen, either because, like I said, that Ravens Patriots game does not shake anything up. The only thing that does, and I pointed to it right here, if the Steelers are able to beat the Ravens in week 18, that would be the one game shy of playoff contention. But I don't see a Steelers sweep on the Ravens. That's just a rivalry that doesn't sweep ever. It just doesn't happen. If it has happened, I don't remember it happening. It seems like every time this game happens, the spread is -3 for whoever's at home, and it'll always be that way, I guess. And then with the Bengals, like I just kept giving them wins against the Browns. I gave them wins against the Cardinals. I gave them wins against the Dolphins. I gave them okay. This is it, right? They're playing the Ravens next week. That's it. If the Bengals win that game, it's all downhill from here as far as opponent strength. It literally goes downhill like that. It went Buffalo, then it's going to go Ravens, then it's going to go Cardinals, then it's going to go Browns. It is going to be a nice decline. And then by the Bengals beating the Ravens, they do 2-1 because they make sure they need the Ravens to have the same record, and they would need to have the tiebreaker over them. So it's two birds, one stone. But if the Bengals lose this game, this is all mute. I just don't think they do. I think the Bengals do win this game. And I think everything I predicted is pretty much locked. The Bengals should be cheering for the Miami Dolphins because this is the only other game that could change things. The Steelers sweeping the Ravens, the Bengals losing to the Ravens, or the Steelers beating the Dolphins. Those are the three likeliest things that could keep the Bengals out of the playoffs. I'm not predicting either of those three things to happen. And to be fair, when I did this, I didn't have a team I was trying to get into the postseason. I just predicted what I thought was going to happen. And the way it fell, the Bengals are in the playoffs. And I don't know if I want that, to be honest. I don't think I want any AFC North team to be in the postseason. To be honest, it feels like these are three teams that just kind of stink, but they're better than like stinking. But I feel like all three of them, if they get into the postseason, they're going to be dangerous, even though they stink now. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm about to put 7 on a Bengals versus Rams rematch Super Bowl. Dude, I'm going to do it with you. I'm going to do it with you. It happened, you guys. I won. $93. Jalen Hurts. Oh, I forgot. I placed the bet once. I put $10 on it. Look at this. Look at this. This is hilarious. Hold on, where's it? Where's the emoji with the eyes with my... There we go. And then we do hashtag FanDuel parlays, NFL bets. I don't know why I hashtag these and post them. No one watches, no one clicks, no one likes, no one sees. I'm like sending things into the void. Like, no, people care. Maybe one day they will. But anyway, the only reason I posted it is so I could share it with you guys. This was stop that screen, present, share screen. Here it is. So I placed this Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert to each record 10 passing yards in each quarter. I put $10 on it to win $18 at 7:15 p.m. And then I literally at 7:15 p.m. went, what am I doing? Like, I always say, if I was a millionaire, I would just take a bet I knew was going to happen, and I would put $1 million on it. And then when I win a big amount of money, I'm scared to do it, and I lose, the money by making astronomical odds and putting $2 on it, and that's by a million cuts instead of just doing this, which is what I came back to do. No. This is going to happen for sure. And there it is. $115. That's my third day in a row making at least $115 on FanDuel. My account, I did it with a $5 bonus bet. I've turned it into $425 with a $5 bonus bet. All of this, and it wasn't even my money. This is awesome. Let's keep it riding. Ladies and gentlemen, though, I just want to say thank you guys. I feel like we had a really good night. We had some serious conversations. We had some fun ones. We talked about the playoffs. We talked about the Eagles. I'm not scared of either of these teams, but I will say this is the time of year where the streaming is going to ramp up. The content is going to ramp up. So please, stay around and share the videos. Keep an eye out for our shorts. Jinja, I just thank you for showing up to these live streams, as well as Crafty. We had Nick in here for a while too. Nick, great time having you in here. Nash, Little E, happy to have you in here. We had Daniel Berry Sports Highlights in here. Of course, Nick stopped by and made an appearance as well. And, everybody else listening on X, thank you guys. Please come back and visit us on the next stream. I will see you guys shortly. This one and all of them are always for Bill. Long live Bill Harton. Eagles get the dub. Actually, they didn't. Chargers got the dub. I just didn't want to say it. Oh, I feel gross just saying it. Oh, I gotta go shower.